Where do you want to start off?
I want to start with Minnesota.
All right, go ahead. Go ahead. You made the thumbnail, and I can tell what you're thinking.
Hey man, let's start with that guy, the league's hottest star right now,
Uh-huh.
Anthony Edwards. If he led the Minnesota Timberwolves to their first ever title in franchise history,
Mm-hmm.
it could mean a whole lot of things. Let's talk about on the court. Obviously, he would be the clear best shooting guard in the league. Over the past year, he's made a big name for himself, being in those debates alongside Devin Booker and Donovan Mitchell as well. Win the chip, get Finals MVP. That would be completely out the question. Also, for the top 10 in the NBA, he would be a lock as well, in my opinion. Also, trying to compete for one of the top 5 spots. And with the finals, talking about that, he would be the youngest player to lead a team to the chip since D Wade did it with the Heat back in '06. D Wade was 24 in '06. Anthony Edwards was 22.
Yeah.
So just counting the unprecedented factor in the history, if that were to happen, it's just insane for a guy as young as Anthony Edwards leading a team like Minnesota who've desperately been hungry for success over their history, haven't really gotten success in their history, one of the worst teams in their history. And for him to lead this speed run, potentially taking down the defending champs, led by the greatest player in the world right now, Nikola Jokic. And then in the finals, if they do play against Boston, one of the greatest teams we've seen in the past decade, if he were to completely run through that gauntlet, that would be completely insane.
Yeah.
And let's not get into the off the court stuff. I mean, come on, like clear face in the league, which the NBA has desperately needed, who are desperately looking for that set face of the league as well.
Yeah, for sure. Between the freestyle right before the draft, between his comments about how he used to be the cleanup 3-4 hitter, golf, soccer, whatever it was, he said he was the lead at it. He's definitely looking like the future face of the league. And one thing that I don't really like, but we've been seeing a lot of, is Anthony Edwards getting compared to MJ.
No, that's stupid.
Right.
No, that's stupid.
I completely agree. But MJ didn't win his first ring until he was 27. Anthony Edwards is on the verge of winning it. Or verge might be a stretch, but they look like a very good team. They would definitely look like a contender. And he's only 22. And one thing that I was saying earlier in the year, I had him as my 5th player on the All-NBA first team. Over Brunson, over Tatum. And I honestly felt like he was somewhat disrespected, as he never was a talking point for that 5th spot, despite them being basically the 1 seed for majority of the year in the West. And I think that that's something that kind of doesn't get talked about enough when you win a championship. Because, for Jokic, who's up here, Denver and Jokic don't really get a lot of media attention. And when they won a ring, it was kind of forced, that media attention. Minnesota is in a position where they're the North. It's always cold. Them and the Vikings have never won a championship. Nobody wants to be up there reporting. If he wins it at 22, he's going to be poised for all NBA teams. He's going to be poised for All-Stars, and he's going to be poised for the face of the league. And I just think that media attention that comes with a ring is going to elevate him to such a high position in the league.
Look, man, he's got the swag, the personality,
Yeah.
the aura,
Yeah.
media friendly as well. They love him right now.
Uh-huh.
And if he were able to win a chip with this Timberwolves team, which
Yeah.
the series is tied 2-2, but they can possibly beat Denver, I believe, in 7. And then the conference finals, if they do beat the winner of the OKC Mavs series, and finals if they do beat Boston in that series as well. To wrap it up this year with a chip and a potentially finals MVP,
Mm-hmm.
oh man, it's over. That debate is over. The league will clearly be his from a marketing standpoint.
Yeah. And I want to say something because you mentioned his personality, you mentioned his aura, his play style, but we got to talk about his mentality because between talking to Murray after the game, between taking questions that Cat was getting asked and stepping up and answering the questions for Cat about his defense, doing all that stuff, just being a good teammate. It's not something you see for a guy who's 22 on this big of a stage.
No, I mean, I don't want to get on him too much, but like LaMelo Ball
Yeah.
in Charlotte,
Yeah.
they're the same age, really. And
Wow, that's crazy. That's crazy.
I believe LaMelo was 22 as well. Fact check on that if you can for me, but
Yeah. I got you.
the 9-day difference between the two, it's insane, and that's a huge credit to Edwards' character and his mentality ever since he's been in the league.
But that's what's like really crazy, because I remember LaMelo was born in 01, so he's like, hold on, he is
22.
hold on, he's 14. No, he's 17 days older than Anthony Edwards.
Mm-hmm.
But for Anthony Edwards, I remember when he was coming out of Georgia and was entering the draft, and he obviously dropped that freestyle video. A lot of teams were kind of questioning his mentality, and those were the reports. Was like, oh, is he going to choose baseball? Is he going to choose football? Now he's posting this freestyle. A lot of teams were questioning this mentality, and for him to show like that maturity and basically be, I had him as the best player in the playoffs. You had him as your second best player in the playoffs, and we're hearing the quotes about, oh, I'm just going to kill anybody in front of me. He's talking to the defending champs. He's respecting the defending champs. Like, that's exactly what you want to see from a franchise player.
For sure. And I didn't want to get on like LaMelo like that. I had to use him as an example.
No, I thought it was good.
A big LaMelo Ball guy. Obviously, we're going to be LaMelo FC is going to be on the comeback next year, hopefully. But as an example, I want to use him. To prove my point.
I mean, I could use a better example, I think. Mm-hmm. And this guy's 2 years older than Anthony Edwards, but John Morant.
I mean, I wouldn't go that far.
No?
I wouldn't go that far. I mean, obviously, I get where you're coming from with the off-the-field issues, but on the court, he's led Memphis to multiple playoff appearances.
That's true.
Even being a top 2 seed in that 21-22 season as well. So the results have been there on the court for Ja and the Grizzlies.